Welcome to this edition of Hebrew Nation News on YouTube. Every week, the world seems to be descending deeper and faster into end-time events. Listen in as Harvey covers the news highlights of the week for a quick overview. Remember, we know not the day nor the hour, but we do know the season. Reporting to you live on YouTube is this week's report, Countdown to the Second Coming.
Welcome to a Countdown Report, October 23. We'll go over these topics today: the UN climate change, the internet attack of last Friday, the election, is the solar system tilting, the latest on the banks, is there a drill commencing next Sunday, 10:30, and the military and the Middle East. There's an upcoming climate change summit in the United Nations, and at least one reporter has been disinvited because he is, quotes, a crock. This man interviews and tries to give an unbiased opinion. He does have a popular TV show. I don't see what he is actually reporting is helpful. So that's what the UN official, not all, says. So in order to be newsworthy and to be allowed to be broadcast, is this a new global standard that's going to be imposed? That it has to be helpful. Helpful for what? Helpful for the cause of the globalist, evidently, because many scientists are clamoring that climate change has not been adequately investigated. The causes for it have been actually avoided. If you're going to go into climate change, why not include what the sun is doing? However, in the documents that analyze our weather, the sun is left out. The focus is what man is doing. Man affects less than 1%, a fraction of 1%, of the total carbon dioxide on the planet. But they want to use climate change as a means to bootstrap the world citizens into a tax because they need to fund their global government. So they need a global tax. This is it. Very convenient. Actually, there is something happening that will greatly affect the weather, but we're going to discuss that in a few slides. Carol of the Canadian Broadcasting System queried not all. Do people have to prove that they're helpful in order to be accredited journalists? Well, what do you think journalism is about? Says this man. In the picture, you can see he has two index fingers pointed. He is going to doubly set everybody straight. Carol answers, reporting. Nuttall tries to ignore her. So does it seem that Mr. Levant is saying is true, or that you just didn't like his point of view? Levant is the TV host. No, not really. The point is he seems to be advocating a particular point of view which is so personal that it doesn't seem to be a genuine news. So you can see the globalists wanting to isolate what they think is news from real news, and this is why the alternate media has greatly upset their plans, and they want to control it. Here we have a website of the current threats to internet in real time, and this goes back to the attack on of last Friday when there were widespread outages. Let's look at this. You can see right here is a large uh, um, point of interest for everybody. That is McConnell Air Force Base, who's cited on their website. Their mission is intelligence. You can see that they're big into computers, and they are a major um, destination for attack. You can see this at this website. Most of the attacks on Friday originated not from outside but inside the United States. Most came from southwest Wichita, Kansas, which is McConnell, and the attacks were on major servers in Boston, New York, D.C., San Fran, and Seattle. And indeed, we had many outages in this area also, not just San Fran, but I think all of SoCal, Southern California. The public's website is Intelligence. Was the government initiating attacks against its own citizens? Why? Why would they do that? Are they practicing taking out the internet coverage in just certain regions of the country? Why would that be? Is that so they can go in and disarm this, like the Northeast, without the rest of the country knowing what they're doing, and then just go in and block out California, go in and disarm them, or whatever they want to do? Are they practicing taking out certain segments of the internet, or just taking it down completely? This comes from Superstation 95. Here you see McConnell Air Force Base there in Wichita, Kansas, and you see here they are. They have received a major attack, and the red is the most dangerous kinds of attacks. And you can see they are shooting out here to Boston. And when you see the red rings, again, this is from Superstation 95, Hal Turner. When you see the red rings, massive memory disruption. So it's no wonder the power went out. You can see here they are, San Fran. Also under attack was Seattle and the whole eastern seaboard, D.C., Boston, New York. And here are the outages. It was the whole northwest around Seattle. Massive outage here in the Northeast. Massive outage here in California. Bad news for Hillary from an internal memo leaked to Hal Turner. This is the memo. And this is very interesting. I would invite you to read this, to just stop the video, and I hope your screen is big so you can see this. They are analyzing if whether or not people, what segments of the population read alternative news, and if they read alternative news, how does that affect their view of Hillary or the election in general? It's revealed here the counter narrative to the scandals is failing as well. This is not good news for Hillary. Most heavy consumers of social media, so here's another alternative media sprouting up. It's the social media. Understand that the allegations against Trump are debunked. We understand that communication strategies have been unable to reduce the impact of this messaging. Worse, among white males in telephone, 93% of either approve or strongly approve of Donald Trump's hot mic tape. So here they're trying to smear a candidate, and it's not working. On a positive note, if they're liberals or independents and they were unaware of Bill Clinton's sexual misconduct, then they were more likely to support Hillary. On a disturbing note, that last paragraph is is the last paragraph here is disturbing. And this is it. On a disturbing note, again, Democratic internal memo as offered by Superstation 95. Hal Turner. On a disturbing note, some 70% of Republican-leaning voters are aware of bust-in voting, false-face operations, and dead man's party registration drives. This may necessitate severe strategy changes for November. Are they going to do, what are the severe strategy changes they have planned for November? I've said before, the globalists will not risk an election that they are not certain they can win. There is no way they will allow Donald Trump to get in the White House. No way. They will pull the whole system down first with either a war, a financial collapse, or, I don't know, whatever severe strategy they have dreamed up. And it doesn't seem to be getting any better for the Clintons. Israeli intelligence made secret tape for purposes of blackmail of Bill. I showed this to a anyway, raping a 13-year-old girl. Anonymous states that it will release this tape. Flight records prove that Bill Clinton took at least 26 trips on the Lolita Express to pedophile Epstein's orgy island, ditching Secret Service for 5 flights. So, Anonymous is saying they have this. They will release it. It is genuine. It was made by Israeli intelligence. Here is ostensibly the picture of the girl, and of course that cannot be good news. But for left-leaning liberals, they're number one, they're uninformed. Number two, this poster is probably, one of the saddest. They don't care. They don't care. And that's not a good commentary on this country. There are people in this country that would vote for a liar, a crook, a scandalous a woman who has been a scandal for 30 years, and they still would vote for her. They don't care. Caltech is putting out a new article that the sun is tilting and the planets are tilting also. Why? Because Planet 9, this is Planet X, Nibiru, whatever you choose to call it, is so massive and it has an orbit tilted compared to the other planets. So here you can see all the planets are on the same plane. We're all like going around on a CD disk with the sun in the middle, and then here comes Nibiru or Planet X or Planet 9, whatever you want to call it. I think it is actually a neutron star, a failed binary star to our star, to our sun. Most solar systems in the universe have binary suns, are binary systems. This one included, our own system included. This thing evidently is traveling with its own planets. So anyway, it's coming in on a 6% elliptical, and that it is huge. This is how huge it is. Here's Earth compared to Planet X, Nibiru, Planet 9, and it has tremendous gravitational pull, and it's tilting the whole solar system to match its own tilted orbit. Last October 14, Obama government laid out the protocols that should be accomplished within 60, 90, and 120-day time periods, warning of weather so extreme that it affects the grid, water, transportation, and health. In short, it will be an extinction-level event, they are surmising. So when you talk about climate change, they know what's coming. It has nothing to do with the fact that we exhale or drive a car. It has everything to do with this. Everything to do with this. they're saying, well, something bad is coming. You know what? How can we turn that into a positive for us? Oh yeah, let's tell everybody that they're doing this and they need to be taxed so they can stop all the bad stuff they're doing. Oh yeah, let's get some money. Let's get some money for our global government. There is a YouTube channel, the Nibiru channel. This is what he has to say as of October 1st. Huh, what happened on October 1st? Oh yeah, ICANN took over the American internet. All Middle Eastern, European, Indonesian contacts of his were cut off. And this is a YouTuber, a very busy YouTuber. He used to get testimonials, pictures, videos from all over the world. He cannot do anything. No emails. They cannot watch his videos. He used to get half of all his emails from Europe. Now he gets nothing. To boot, a Bulgarian astronomer with 1 million followers fell off a mountain he's been on for 20 years. I mean, he's been researching up there. But suddenly, he's dead. And he had recently told this YouTube channel guy, I'm producing a new video. Would you post it? He said, I have had 120 foreigners with whom I was on a first name basis. Now I hear nothing from them. I sent out 120 emails to these people just saying, are you still there? Please respond. And I have gotten not one response. Here are the pictures. I think this was taken in Turkey. Here are the pictures that he used to get. Here is the sun. So what's this? And it's close enough in that it looks the same size as the sun. Warning about the banks. HSBC, red alert. The Federal Reserve is out of tricks. Sell stocks. The IMF put out a stability warning because of Deutsche Bank. And remember, David Wilkerson said that the global financial collapse begins in Germany. Deutsche Bank now is the number one bad boy bank because of their toxic debt. The IMF is saying their debt is enough to sink several continents. I think it's going to sink the globe. Bank of America, recession imminent, unavoidable. Macquarie Investment Group, private sector will never recover from QE3 or robots. Robots are taking over all the jobs. They're driving buses, taxis, cars. They're taking orders. Human beings won't be needed except to build new robots. Well, who knows? They might take over that industry too. Bank of International Settlements, the Chinese economy is about to fall. A postscript on this. The Bank of Qatar, Deutsche Bank's largest customer, pulled out last week due to security concerns. And who put their money in the Bank of Qatar? Oh, Hillary. $1.8 billion into the Bank of Qatar. How do you work as a public servant all your life, or just be the wife of a governor and end up with billions of dollars? Why does she do this? Because J.P. Morgan was told by the FDIC that the FDIC has serious deficiencies. If there's a collapse, there's no way the FDIC can cover. That could pose serious adverse effects to the financial stability of the United States. That's an understatement. If all the banks go under, and they know they're going to, because they're all like dominoes, they're operating on margins of profit so slim that if somebody sneezes at a turn, it's going to go down. So she heard that, and she moved her money out of the United States into the Bank of Qatar. She doesn't want to use her money. Danger ahead. This is from Dave Hodges, and he said at this point is uncorroborated. However, this informant has had good information in the past. This informant said, DHS, FEMA, there is a drill from October 30 until early December. What happens there? Oh, that's when we're going to have the election. Oh, Did the Democratic camp say that they were looking for extreme strategies to overcome the lack of effectiveness of their own ability to cover up all the lies and scandals? Huh. Quelling mass civil unrest. This is the goal. What, are the banks going to fail? Are they If the banks fail, nothing goes. There are no credit cards, there are no trucks on the road. Trucks on the road operate on credit cards because that's how they get gas. And so if there's no if the credit cards aren't working, they're not going to work. These truck drivers don't go around with a bunch of cash in their pocket to pay for the gasoline. They go down. There are no groceries in the grocery store. There is chaos very, very, very quickly. The first phase, said this informant, combat troops to metro areas. They're being vaccinated as if going into theater. What are they being vaccinated for? Typhoid? Dysentery? I mean, do they have vaccines for that? Why would that be? Why are the basic services to these populations going to be cut off, removed? Are we going to be like a third world country with no running water, no sewage, no ability to keep sanitary conditions? Second phase, controlling resources of food and water. They're going door to door they have identified preppers. They know if you have food or not. They know. So if you do have food, the only thing that's going to save you with that food is the Holy Spirit. That's the bottom line. Your gun, they have laser weapons that can read a dime at 100 miles. You're 45, and your little box of ammo that you have in your drawer, that's not going to save you. That's not going to save you from government workers. That's not. And are you going to kill your neighbors over a box of oatmeal? Please rethink this. I think in the last days that we're called upon to stand down because the enemy is too big. It used to be, yes, I know, Christ told his followers to, bring your swords with you on that last night so they can be sure to get home safely. That's when everybody just had swords. But right now we still have swords, and they have lasered sound weapons, drones. They can vaporize you. They can shrink you. So the playing field is so uneven now that God is saying, stand down, call on me, I will protect you. Third phase, martial law. This is what they're preparing for. So that is it. The leak is not corroborated. Philippines, did Duarte switch or not? China and the Philippines are going to cooperatively tap energy resources in the South China Sea. Lots and lots and lots of oil and natural gas there. Philippines has been a long U.S. ally. They say there's upwards of $5 trillion available to them in global trade. Now he's backtracking and he's just saying this is only a separation of foreign policy, not financial policy. He suddenly realizes that he cannot financially disentangle from the U.S. because the Philippines would be the loser in that. Here he is reviewing troops with the Chinese. And here we have discussed before all the artificial islands that the Chinese are building in the South China Sea. They are using this to put their huge ships here. These are warships. These are smaller. They have this huge runway here that can accommodate anything. It is very densely built up. Here's a little inlet. Here is a breakwater protecting the harbor. We have, they're building these, I think, 2,000 acres a year. They're doing this 24/7, 365. They never stop building new islands. The U.S. seems to be painting jets near Syria, painting them Russian colors. Why? Do they want to set Russia up? Do we have a false flag coming where they're going to bomb Aleppo and blame Russia and say, okay, well, that's it. They started it. Now we're going to retaliate when Russia is just sitting there doing nothing. fly low and slow. Make sure everybody has their cell phones running, and then can post lots of videos up on social media. And blame the Russians so they can retaliate. Here are the first three pictures here. These are American airplanes in Syria, says the website that put these pictures up. These are American aircraft in Syria that are being repainted Russian colors. This is a real Russian plane. These are the imposters. But you can see how they could be confused by people on the ground. And Russia sails the ocean blue. We discussed this also. Russia started above Norway there, just a little bit east of Finland, sailed down the North Sea and into the English Channel, and right now they're off the coast of France someplace. They're going to sail into the Straits of Gibraltar and on over into Aleppo. Why are they doing this? Are they sailing in a flotilla so they can provide naval support for a war in Syria? Yes, there will be war in Syria. Remember the secular Jewish boy who came back from a near-death experience? In fact, he was declared dead for 15 minutes, came back with a message of redemption for Israel and also end times. And he said, World War III begins in Syria. Here they are. They're moving in with eight warships, including this beautiful new thing there, their new aircraft carrier. So planes can take off from the water. They have destroyers and then support ships. This sailed through the English Channel. And here is their goal. Are they going to get here and give naval support for the war in Syria? I'm wondering. Please stay safe. Only Jesus Christ, Yeshua HaMashiach, will save you in the end. Please make sure you know them. You know him. Rather, I'm trying to do two things here at once. And I shall see you next week. Blessings.